Hello, my lovely subscribers. Good day. I am Constance. Thank you for joining me in the next episode of my English class. In this lesson, we're going to be talking about vocabulary building dialogue. Vocabulary building dialogue. And what is vocabulary building dialogue? Vocabulary building dialogue is simplifying or censoring the words that you use, all right? It's simplifying or censoring the words that you use. But before we get into the lesson, I would love for you to give these authors some support. Find their book in the link to their book in my description box below. And this is the title of the book is Remington Chronicles, right? The Remington Chronicles, and that is by P.F. Felix, right? P.X. Felix, and you could find it at www.pffelix.com. And the next person is K.T. Lyon. K.T. Lyon, author K.T. Lyon. The name of his book is Newborn Deceit. Newborn Deceit. So their book, the link to their book, I will leave it in my description box below so you can go and check out their book. And you can also check out my books at amazon.com, and I will leave the link to my books as well in the description box below. All right? So let's begin with the lesson. Let's begin with the lesson. I have a visitor here. Okay, let's begin with the lesson. So we're going to be dealing with vocabulary building dialogue. There's a wasp here to interrupt my lesson. All right. So the first sentence in the question, what am I saying? Sorry. The first sentence in vocabulary building is, Tom has a degree in medical science. Tom has a degree in medical science, 2 houses, and 2 commercial trucks for carrying sand. He has 2 houses and 2 commercial trucks for carrying sand, and he has a degree in medical science. All right, so what would you say in 1 word or in 2 words about Tom? You would say he is successful or he is prosperous. You would say he is successful or he is prosperous. So if they should ask you to simplify a sentence like this, structured like this or in this manner, you would say Tom is a successful man or he is a prosperous man. He is a successful man or he is a prosperous man. Simple, all right? So that is what it means by building your vocabulary. Instead of going around and round, he has a degree, he has a house, he has a this and a that. You say he's a prosperous or he's a successful person or a successful man. Number 2, since the pandemic, Mary has refused from talking to her neighbors or anyone else. Since the pandemic, Mary has refused from talking to her neighbors or anyone else. So 1 word to define this question would be reclusive. Reclusive, or she has become isolated. She has become isolated, right? So to summarize or to censor this sentence, or what the idiom we use it, to pen it, to blue pen it, reclusive, or she has become isolated. Number 3, learning the score of the game, the men started shouting, dancing, laughing, and also clapping their hands. Learning the score of the game, the men started shouting, dancing, clapping, laughing, and clapping their hands. So to censor this word, or to summarize it, or this sentence, you will say they're having a jubilation, or they are celebrating. They're having a jubilation, or they are celebrating, right? Jubilation or celebration or celebrating. So that is one word, or those are 2 words you could use to censor this sentence, right? Number 4, every weekend, Connie gave her time feeding the disabled children in the hospital. Every weekend, Connie gave of her time feeding the disabled children in the hospital. So she did what? She volunteered, or she did it voluntarily, right? She volunteered, or she did it voluntarily. So she gave of her time. That means she doesn't get paid for it. There's no salary involved, right? She willfully take up herself, go to the hospital to feed these children. So she gives of her time. No money is involved. Number 5, night after night, the lunatic in the community rings the doorbell of the residence. Night after night, the lunatic in the community rings the doorbell of the residence. And what we would say about this? What would we say? We would say he does it what? Repeatedly, consistently, or continuously, or constantly. Repeatedly, consistently, or continuously, or constantly. So those are words that mean without a break. So you just go there and ring the bell to disturb their peace, right? So to do it repeatedly, consistently, continuously, or constantly is doing it without a break, all right? You're not stopping, you're doing something on and on and on and on. All right? So take a look at these words, memorize them, write them down if you have to, because especially voluntarily, it's a word that is often thrown into the exam. All right? So if you're taking your IELTS exam or your CXC exam, all right, or you're just writing, this is a word that you must pay attention to. Pay attention to it, because they will ask you how much Mary gets for volunteering at her job, and for her to volunteer she does not get paid. All right? And there are other ways that they will manipulate a sentence just to see if you understand, or if you understand the meaning of the word. So take a look at these words, and not only the words, but the sentences. Look at the sentences and see how you could break them, or create some sentences of your own, and see how you could use 1 word or 2 words or 3 words to describe the sentence. All right? So instead of Tom has a degree and he has truck and he has businesses, you say he's a successful man or he's a prosperous person. All right. So take a look at these vocabulary building dialogues and use them, apply them, study them, create your own, check out your dictionary and look at them and see what you can grasp or understand from it. All right, so this is it for this class. I would love for you to like, to subscribe, to share this video, right? Give it a thumbs up if you like it. Right, check my description box below for every information that is pertaining to my books or books of other authors, right? And I would appreciate if you will join me in my next class. Until then, bye bye.